It's the What We Binge Halloween special. I'll say for that, yeah. Yakshalash.
Right, you got it out your system? Yep, we got it. All right, let's go. Hola.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to our last spooky Halloween special
Spooky.
about Train to Busan.
I know. And wait, should we still talk about the witches a little bit? Do you have much to say about it?
I didn't watch it, so I don't. I just watched the trailer.
Yeah.
But like, it's. I'll just have one thing to say. It's just like Chris Rock is everywhere today. Like,
yeah. This has to be by intention. Like,
I think he's in the iPhone 12 ads. He's in Fargo.
Yeah.
He's in the Witches. This is like everyone hates Chris, but like in a told
but
by
scary.
Roald Dahl.
Yeah.
And like,
dude, you know what I actually watched the other night? Me and my family, we were watching Tales from the Crypt. And one of the first episodes of that, it was a Christmas episode, quote unquote, that was directed by Robert Zemeckis. And that was one of my favorite episodes. It was like a Killer Santa or something. But that made me think, okay, maybe he'll do a good job on the witches. But I haven't heard anything super duper positive about it.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything groundbreaking. But then, you know, other movies have come up this week. So it's kind of probably detracting from that.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Like what kind of movies?
We'll talk about it, maybe. Anyway,
that was a way to get you to see Train to Busan, but we'll work on those.
Oh, fuck. Okay, let's do it again. Let's do it again. That was it again. That was our segue. We'll do it live.
That was our segue.
We'll do it
actually, you know what? Speaking of we'll do it live, what happened to Bill O'Reilly? What's he doing now?
I think he has a podcast. He's sort of like,
what's he up to?
We're trying to use podcasts as a way to, have fun and try to get out there.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to survive, essentially. Yeah. So,
dude, you know what's funny? Like,
it's the only place where people listen to him.
Yeah. And like, I was actually thinking about this the other night. How like, do you remember that one? I think it was a convention or a Daily Show episode where like Jon Stewart had Bill O'Reilly on his lap, or like vice versa.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think at that moment, like everybody around my age decided that they were either going to be Bill O'Reilly or Jon Stewart. And now we have like a million like half-assed versions of both doing media right now.
For sure. But oh my God. No, it totally is. No, well, the thing is like, when Jon Stewart retired and he was replaced by Trevor Noah, who's half Swiss, Yeah,
because you have the Swiss love chocolate.
His dad loves chocolate.
Yeah,
that's what he says.
That was like... that was. I feel like that was his like go-to for like years. He's like, I don't know how to start this. Here, the Swiss joke. Hey.
Yeah, Swiss joke. Hey, chocolate. Yay.
Right.
I am intolerant to dairy, so that wasn't the case for me. Not all Swiss people can have chocolate and milk. Imagine that. A country where all you can eat is cheese and chocolate, but you can't eat any of that shit. So that's that's how I grew up. Back to you, Mike.
Well, I don't think that's exactly what the joke was about, but yeah.
That's my childhood trauma coming back to haunt me and you, dear listeners. But it's
is Switzerland where those like blue containers of shortbread cookies come from, or is that that's Danish? Never mind.
I think that's. Do you mean like the honey shortbread cookies?
Or like those shortbread, like, you know how people make those jokes that like everyone's grandma just puts like sewing material into like this like aluminum blue tin?
No, anything from Switzerland will always be painted red. That is the color. Thing is, anything like in Switzerland, it's sort of like, imagine made in USA, but the pride that comes with, except that it's made in Switzerland, and every Swiss person believes that Switzerland is the best country in the world, essentially. So anything that is made by Swiss people is the best thing
Swiss
automatically. So, it's sort of like, that's sort of the frame of mind you have to imagine. If you ever go to Switzerland one day, anything that is outside of Switzerland does not count. Like that's...
Yeah, so I guess these shortbread cookies don't count. Look, it's Danish.
Except when you go on
cookies.
Vacation.
Yeah.
Then, It's just like when Swiss people go on vacation, it's like, not as good as back home. Mm.
Just
I'm
toss
telling.
everything
Thing
off.
is, it sounds funny, but it's the truth. It's kind of sad, but
Yeah.
it's like we have bigger mountains. Sorry, guys. You know.
Yeah. I don't know. Everybody I know that's traveled like out of Hawaii so far, I was like, oh my God, everything else is so better. And you think that for a few years until you come back. But yeah,
You're
the
like,
initial
actually,
idea when you leave is like, oh, the world is so much
this was
bigger
good
and
the whole
better.
time.
Yeah. But
It's
then I guess first people are like, oh, you suck. Huh.
yeah. I mean, the thing is like there's like it's like I wouldn't say it's 50-50, but let's say that there's like one part of the population that just yearns to leave, and
Yeah.
then when they leave, they realize that they didn't have it as good as they did back home.
Yeah.
So, maybe they'll go back home, but then like usually if you go out and then come back, you'll probably have better opportunities because Switzerland is not very forthcoming with like opportunities. Like if you have
Yeah.
experience, they'll give you a fucking amazing job. But
Yeah.
if you don't have any experience, they're gonna tell you like, yeah, you should have a degree and have worked 5 years. And you're like, well, I have a degree, but I didn't work 5 years. Or you worked for 5 years, but you don't have a degree because you were working.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can't have it both ways. So essentially, like, it's just easier to go out and then say like, yeah, I become a big guy in France
Yeah.
or somewhere else, and then you come back and say, hey, I'm a big shot now.
Yeah, no, I tried to
And
do that here in Hawaii. Like I tried to do that with my like New York experience. I thought like if I go to New York, even for a short time, I'll come back and it's awesome. And it worked. It gets your foot
yeah,
in the door really quick.
yeah, man.
It gets your ass out the door pretty quick too. So your foot will get in that door. Just keeping it there
It's like
is another thing.
New York. It's like,
Yeah.
nah, he's too full of himself. Like
Yeah,
he's
just
too
too
New
full.
York,
To New York. The stuff is too quote unquote edgy.
It's too edgy, man. We just need some.
Means it sucks.
Yeah. Okay, so Train to Busan. After we vented all of our frustrations about life,
Busan, the second most populous
like
country.
they have it worse.
I mean, city.
They have it
in
worse in that movie. I mean,
Oh, yeah, they
considering
did.
they're in the middle of a zombie pandemic thing.
Yeah.
So like yeah, so we had some so like what I like about this movie compared to like other horror movies is that there's a lot of character development. It's like you really like the beginning happens very slowly at first. It's always like you're setting up this guy's backstory, and he's like a fund manager who's kind of not a great dad, but he's trying, but he's not that good, and he's divorced, and the daughter likes likes her mom more than her dad, but understandably because he's never really there, and he just buys her expensive gifts, like most divorced dads, I guess. Like they never showed up, and then they just give big gifts when they show up.
Yeah, like how he gave her a Wii and she already had a Wii. Remember?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, there you go. It's like, I heard you have one. Here it is. And
yeah, you know what? The beginning,
the wrong color, Dad.
The beginning of the movie set it up in a way that, like, I thought it was gonna lean more towards like a drama, like a slow drama with like some horror elements. Like that's what it made me feel like.
It starts like it starts like a drama about a dad and his daughter and him just trying to be a better dad. Yeah. And then it turns into a whole zombie, death fest.
It turns into like Grindhouse World War Z territory.
Yeah.
Really
yeah,
quick.
These zombies, they're not the Walking Dead, like just walking in slow motion going, these are the running fucking like I'm gonna bite your face off type zombies.
Breakdancing zombies and running zombies.
Breakdancing. It's like every time they get up, like they get bitten, and then every time they get up, they go like, and then
they would like pop
their
way
breakdancing up. It's like shoulder pop. Let's pop that lock, man. It's like then you see like the zombies just like popping and locking everywhere. And,
that was like thriller territory. They were keeping the zombie face, but they were like on their way up.
I shit you not. Like I was expecting to hear like ding ding.
It was actually a choreographer that came up with all of that, but it was just funny how obvious it was.
They're all like they just went out like in Seoul and South Korea. It's like, we're looking for break dancers, and I was like, oh yeah, where's the music video, bro? It's like, no, you're playing zombies. Awesome. And then
It's
It's
probably
like,
like
makeup, dude. Can I bite people for real? Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
sure. You know,
Probably a big warehouse somewhere with a bunch of K-pop like dancers, and it's
yeah.
like, you need some here, like a Costco here.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. I was like, no, that wasn't zombie enough, bro. It's like, oh shit, okay, like
Yeah.
like that, yeah, sure, yeah, you know,
Twitch.
pump it hard, as if you're gonna lose your arm, like you're a zombie, man. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I love
Pretty
that. Like the
amazing.
people that played the zombies in this movie, they went like all out. Like they didn't try to go, whoa.
Yeah.
Like their faces were just like
But it's like,
stretched all the way.
I don't know if you've seen Kingdom on Netflix, but like they really sell. They probably hired the same guys, but it's like,
has to be. I keep hearing
but it's
about this
like,
movie Kingdom. I mean, this show,
it's
like
like,
Kingdom on
yeah,
Netflix.
it's like a South Korean zombie TV show that's
Yeah.
based in like medieval times, and
Oh, okay. I know this
it's
one.
like the same zombies except they work differently.
Okay. See, I've
You know,
seen like this thumbnail and stuff before, but I wouldn't have guessed that it was a zombie related.
yeah. Well, thing
Yeah.
is, like the zombies in Kingdom, they can actually smell you. I think because they can sense when blood is being poured, or you know, they follow sounds.
Yeah.
They're a bit more self-aware, or just like aware of their environment.
Yeah.
But like the zombies and Train to Busan, like if they can't see you, it's like you don't exist, which
Yeah.
is kind of a pretty cool way. It's pretty cool how they use like that in the movie. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, there are parts where some compartments are totally dark. So like when they're in a tunnel, they're like, fuck, you know, it's messy. And then like they're out of the tunnel, it's like, ah, you know.
or like the part when they have like the entire army, and then it's just like, hey,
Yeah,
can
it's
you
like,
help me?
oh,
I thought it was
yeah.
gonna. I literally thought it was gonna be
Help
like
me.
one zombie. I thought one of them was gonna be a zombie and run after it, but the entire army
Yeah,
turned
the
around like in
entire
unison.
squadron or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're like, you know, it's like, oh, thank goodness you're here. Oh,
yeah.
and it's like, ah. You got
Yeah.
things like they're a bit better than the Kingdom zombies. Like when
Mhm.
they like, I guess, yell, they sound
Yeah.
like crows. It's like ka
Yeah.
ka. So it's like,
Yeah. And this was like the
you're like,
first.
ah.
And this was
They
the
go
first
face
time I
first.
saw. Yeah.
It's like
And I
face
don't.
first. It's like where the mouth is. That's where it's gonna go first. Like, ah, you know, they don't put their arms, or it's like,
Yeah.
ah, you know, they do their Naruto run where they have like their arms behind them. It's like, ah, you know, it's like,
But like, has there ever
more
been like
dynamic.
another zombie movie or TV show that showed like the process of becoming a zombie? This is the first time I've seen it where it was like
Yeah,
they're a person and then they're like, ah, and then mid conversation go, rah.
yeah. It's sort of like, well, I think there's like there's sort of a heartbreaking conversation. Like the fund manager gets a call from his mom, and you can tell that something's wrong, and then she turns into a zombie on the phone call, and then
Yeah.
she actually calls his you know, his ex-wife a bitch before she turns into like a zombie. And it's like, you know, your daughter always liked her more than me,
Yeah.
that bitch. And then she goes like, ah, and
Oh,
and
man, I
then
love those.
and then apparently she had the presence of mind to hang up, even though she turned into a zombie.
Yeah.
So it's like, be okay. uh and
No, I love that. I guess when they had like more comedic moments in the movie, I just like that. I don't know. Some of the characters just sold it. Like they had the one guy that eventually turns into a zombie. Spoiler alert. The kind of like
yeah,
more tough man.
yeah,
Like he's
the
wearing
thick
like
guy.
proper clothes until he's just wearing like, I don't know, duct taped arms
Yeah, like he
and a
duct tapes
t-shirt, and he just
magazines to his
beats
front
the shit out of
arms.
zombies. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he just like, ah, but like he punches. I think like the first time he sees a zombie, like he has a pregnant wife with him,
Yeah.
and then like she's totally transfixed. She's like, what the fuck is going on? He's
Yeah.
like, you can run, can't you? And it's like, yes, yes. And then like he just like fucking
Goes
belts
for
one
it.
guy in the face, and like like one zombie in the face, he flies like, you know, 6 feet backwards or something.
Yeah.
It's like, man, this is a strong man.
Yeah.
And but like he's a strong guy in this, and I think he's sort of like, he's the butch character that you need
Yeah.
in a zombie movie.
I know that Zack Snyder right now is working on a zombie movie. He's making like kind of a universe out of it for like Netflix. And I think
A zombie
that's
universe.
what Dave Bautista's role coming up in the Zack Snyder zombie movie. I think that's what it's gonna be, kind of like that funny, tough guy kind of thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be a funny
like,
tough guy. Like we can fucking like destroy zombies, like 3 zombies at a time or something.
With just
like,
his duct tape
arm,
that's it.
Like, oh sorry, wrong movie.
Like, oh man, and the thing is, like, I've never really seen a lot of horror movies from other countries before, but I've been trying to make it a point to watch more Asian horror movies. Like, I know with the Japanese side, there's like The Ring and there's The Grudge and all of that, and then for the Korean side, there's like a whole genre of this coming out called what, K-zombie. That's what it's called.
I think it's called K-zombie, but it's like it really gets. Like Asian horror movies, they really get under your skin, and I think that's why they've been adapted so many times. Like The Ring, became like The Circle or something.
Oh no, was it
or something
Ringu,
else?
Ringu was the original, but
you have Ringu,
yeah,
that
was the original.
Ring,
and, and then Grudge was Ju-on, and they just came out with. And it's funny because like in Japan, those are like big franchises. Like they're at a point now that they did a Freddy versus Jason with like the Grudge versus
Grudge versus, I don't know. Like there's I went to Japan a few years ago, and they have an AKB48 like arcade game where these AKB48 is like this J-pop group, and it's called 48 because there are 48 girls in one in one group, and they have video games for as part of their franchise, I guess, and they turn into zombies. So so the game is that you have to spray them with some special serum or something that cures them.
Wait, what? wait, let me look this up. AKB48,
like arcade game, like shooter or something.
Game. Oh man,
dude, like
this is
Japan,
it's by Namco. Oh, this is like a real.
It's a real thing.
Dude, there's like
they actually like shoot air in your, because like it's like a closed space, and then they'll shoot air in your ear or in your neck so that you feel this girl who's like breathing down your neck or something.
Wait, no, because I know Namco makes those games that are like that. Just had no idea they made a K-pop version of it. Like, that is.
And the other day, thank you for spraying me with the fucking green
freedom.
Goo, which
feels wrong.
Which feels so wrong, but
oh man, that is funny.
That's how you win the game. But like, you have guys who spend all day there. There's like one guy who had special gloves because there's a whole game that's about swiping circles into slots.
Yeah.
And he has like special non-grip gloves so that he can slide around it so he doesn't hurt his hands. So he spends all day there, and it's like all in sync with the music. So it's like, beep, 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 beep. And he's just like, swiping everything. And then you try to do it like a fucking tourist, and you fuck up like in 2 seconds. Then all the Japanese people.
Hey, look at a comment at one of the on the video. Even as CGI zombies, they're still cute. And dude, these look like half the people I know. Like when they go
it's
look like,
but they have like demon eyes or something. When there's always like.
They did make an effort to make them more babyface though. Okay, but like on the Korean side, I feel like South Korea is slowly finding what their thing is with like pop, or like now they have a genre all to their own, K-zombie and all of that. But it's like horror. It's like Japanese, I would say, like found themselves a lot when it came to art, but South Korea is still sort of like figuring it out. Like, I feel like there's going to be a lot more zombie things in the future.
It's sort of like now, I mean, you're going to have a lot more zombie things and just like horror movies. I mean, there's a big history of K-pop. I mean, not K-pop, like K-horror. There is a long story of K-pop as well, but, like, I don't know enough about it, but I know that thing is like, I feel like Train to Busan was maybe the first one that broke out like internationally.
Yeah. That was I don't know. I was just pleasantly surprised at like how balls to the wall it was. Like every time you hear about like an international movie or like something, like for the most part, on my part, I hear about international movies as like mostly indies and mostly like these dramas and very slow stuff. Like I love seeing popcorn stuff from other countries.
Yeah.
And this is like something that totally took me by surprise, and like how poignant it was, but didn't back down on how like over the top they're gonna go.
Yeah, but I think like, foreign movies until recently had a reputation for being toned down,
Yeah,
boring, you know. But then like you get movies like Train to Busan or Parasite, both pretty recent movies.
yeah,
But like, you know, I guess most people in America, if they think of like a foreign movie, they'll think of like some French or German introspective, like,
yeah.
Swedish thing,
And
but
anything
they
that's
won't think
like,
about a balls to the wall Korean zombie fucking
yeah,
movie, and
yeah. Like, dude,
it's gonna melt your face off. And
I was about to get Shudder just so I could watch some like the Grindhouse movies and the B movies. After this, I'm like,
Shudder.
yeah. After watching Train to Busan, I'm like, I'm fine. I don't know how you can top this.
Well, the thing is, like, Train to Busan has a lot of different strengths. It's like, it's got a like you care about the characters.
Right.
The main character is kind of an asshole, but you warm up to him because you sort of know who he is deep down
Yeah.
through his actions and everything. And like
Yeah.
it proves the theory of like you really see what people are made of when they're in a very shitty situation.
Yeah.
And thing is, you'll see like, I think mostly part like his daughter tells him, like, because he tells his daughter at one point, like, in these times you have to look out for yourself. And
Mhm.
she feels bad because like I think she's thinking about her grandma, and like, because like she just gave her seat to an old woman, and then her dad's like, you should think about yourself.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, but I remember grandma, like her knees used to hurt all the time. And it
Yeah.
sort of makes him realize that, oh, I'm being a piece of shit right now. And
Yeah. I mean,
so,
he kind of has like a redemption moment at the end.
yeah,
But like,
he does.
well, we'll talk about the end later. But yeah, he has like a redemption moment of like, he was kind of like an asshole and stuff before. And the thing I like about this though is that you could kind of see it from his side. Like,
Yeah.
you could kind of see why he
sure.
thought it was right. Like, he didn't go into the job he did out of like bad intentions or anything. But at the
I
end,
think it's
like,
like he's understandable. That's what makes him relatable. And
yeah,
what I think a lot of people would do the same. A lot of people do the same for their like profession.
yeah,
But then in that case, like, I'm sure a lot of people would be like, look out for yourself, man. Because if you're going to help others and put yourself in danger, like, you shouldn't do that.
yeah. And the class divide, did I mention that yet while we were recording?
I'm not
about
sure,
the class
but let's
divide?
talk about it now.
Yeah, it's like they basically like laid on pretty quick.
Yeah,
and for the main character,
second class is trying to get into first class.
Yeah. And I feel like that's how he
There's
kind of
zombies.
like realized where his place was. He realized that
Yeah.
like, okay, at the end of the day, he's still powerless, like he's
Yeah.
still a mid-level average guy trying to get by.
Yeah.
So I think he started to make decisions based on that. But yeah, the
Yeah.
different cars in the train represented like the different classes. It was kind of like The Purge. Like, this movie reminded me a lot
Totally.
about The Purge, in that the whole class aspect was like they pretty much hit you dead on with like
Yeah.
what they're trying to say.
But it's sort of like another movie with the train that's all about classes is like the Snowpiercer.
Yeah.
That's
Also
like
sounds pretty good, yeah.
literally like, if you're poor, you're living in some sort of like, camp or something, or it's like a
Yeah.
shtetl, right? It's like it's
Yeah.
like you're living in the ghetto of the train.
Yeah.
And then like once you go to the next carriage, you'll see, oh, this is like a nice garden, and then, oh, this is where the rich people are, and this is where the really rich people are. And
Yeah. I wonder if like
it's a bit more exaggerated, but
I wonder if
yeah.
in some situations, like when they create like first class and second class for like transportation, if like they start off making things as if like what they could do for everybody else, and then
Mhm.
work backwards from there for everybody else, rather than like, let's make the form of transportation and then see how to figure out how to make it exclusive. It's like, we're gonna make the
Yeah.
thing, and then from here we'll think, okay, how can we dial it back for like everybody else?
Well, it's like there's always
Deep questions on what we binge.
deep questions. The answer in Snowpiercer is to derail the train and only have 2 survivors.
which is kind of what Train to Busan did.
Yeah, kind of. Actually, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, technically 3 because the third one is not born yet.
Huh? Wait, what? The third what? Oh,
Well,
yeah.
because it's the pregnant lady, right?
Oh, yeah, the pregnant, yeah.
It's the promise of the future, you know? It's like little girl and woman who's pregnant, they survive. Spoilers, but anyway, this movie came out a while ago. I'm sorry. But it doesn't detract from the pleasure of the movie. This is me viewing it. I saw it. This is my 3rd time seeing this movie, and I still enjoy it, even though I know how it ends. So there's some movies that aren't like that. Like, you know the ending, you're like, there's no tension here.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I don't know how Train to Busan like initially came into my I guess like consciousness, because like I just saw it. I saw it a lot. I would say over the past few months, just because it would pop up on like one of the first things on Tubi, one of the first things on Amazon. It would be just, it's on like different streaming services, and it's on multiple for like free. It was on
Netflix
Viki. Yeah, it was on Netflix. It was on Viki. It was on like a lot of stuff. But initially, I feel like I heard about this movie maybe from a film festival or something. But either way, there's like an effort being put out there to like put this in front of your face.
I don't know. I've been bothering you about it for a couple of months.
And you've been bothering me about it too. You and my girlfriend's mom. Yeah, like, because she introduced me to Vicky. And that's where I saw Train to Busan. And she was like, you have to watch it. You have to watch it. And then
you should listen to her.
You should watch it. Yeah. Oh,
I'm scoring points right now.
Yeah, you're scoring points with...
Listen to your mother.
I did. Please don't kill me. I watched the movie.
As a person who listens to his mother-in-law, I tell you, it is...
It works.
It works.
I have watched it, and now I am also watching a bunch of K-pop stuff. I am winning points.
So K-pop, like, listen to the oldies, like from 5 years ago. The oldies, because they're already old. It's like SNSD, Girls' Generation, Kara, some other stuff. I don't know.
Dude, I feel like every time I talk about like Korean stuff, I always go back to K-pop. I feel like I'm so amazed by it. Like the influence of K-pop, like we were talking about the breakdancing, like zombies and stuff. Like the influence of K-pop is freaking everywhere. Yeah. And I still remember, like, for me in high school, that's when like J-pop and K-pop were kind of going head to head to see who was going to be the big one, and K-pop came out.
Well, this is like K-pop kind of works the same way that like Disney musical, work, Disney talent works. It's like they train them and then they package them, and then it's like, hey, you're in the team now. It's sort of like how pop bands worked in the 50s. It's like you had like a group, and then like you have to be squeaky clean. You can't got to follow what the producer says or whatever.
Which means in a few years we're gonna have like K-pop.
We're gonna have the Bob Dylan of like K-pop or something.
Yeah, we're gonna have the Bob Dylan. We're gonna have all the punk bands, the Sex Pistols of K-pop. It's like,
Dude, I saw this Mongolian punk band that blew my mind.
Really?
Yeah. Dude, I'll find it. I'll talk about it next time. But like, it really blew my mind. I was like, they use like traditional like Mongolian, like, I guess they're not violins, but they work with a bow and like it's sort of like a cello, but like a Mongolian version. And then they do throat singing as well, so it works really well for like actually metal. And it's like, oh.
Oh wait, I know what you're talking about. I know that.
Like, yeah, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's freaking amazing. I love it. And they actually they recorded some tracks for Jedi Fallen Order for that game. And so if you hear throat singing, that's those guys in Jedi.
Wait. Jedi Fallen Order or the Mandalorian?
Like the video game.
Because
Jedi Fallen Order.
Okay, because the Mandalorian, like the latest trailer, it starts off with like a few seconds of. So
well, like, maybe they hired them for season 2. I don't know. It's pretty amazing. It's gonna be. And then they have a whole song about Genghis Khan. And it's like Genghis Khan. It's awesome, and it's just like, dude.
Yes.
I have to find it. I'm gonna find it. Talk
Right.
about something. I'm gonna find it.
All right. In the meantime, I'm gonna give all of you guys my final words on Train to Busan. Awesome grindhouse movie. B movies are not dead. I would have seen this at a drive-through if they still had drive-throughs or drive-ins or whatever. Uh, good, great storytelling. I would say for like a movie with that much balls to the wall action going on. It was like it kind of grounded itself pretty well with like its characters and how the story developed, and at the end it was pretty sad, everything that transpired. And yeah, spoiler, the dad kills himself because he becomes a zombie because he sacrificed himself earlier. And that just I'm just happy he had his redemption moment. But this was my first foray, I would say, into a full international horror movie, and I was happy. I
Yeah.
liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was my first Korean horror movie.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend tried to get me to watch it for months and months. I was like, no, next time, whatever. And then when I finally saw it, I was like, wow, why did I say no?
Yeah.
So I found the band. It's called The Who, but it's like HU.
Okay.
HU. So
funny.
you can tell it's not The Who, like the one,
Oh no, that's what I thought.
Not the famous The Who, not the British guys.
I thought you had a whole like joke going on. I thought that was like
but I think that's their joke. It's like,
I thought like you talking about this Mongolian band was like the big build up.
The Mongolian band.
The punchline is
The Who HU.
Okay.
They got like 42 million views on one of their videos, so they're pretty big.
I'm watching the Comedy Store on Showtime right now, so I'm back into like figuring out comedy. So I was about to applaud you. I was like, that was a good build up and good punchline. It's like, I know this Mongolian band. Like, I wonder what they're called. And then The Who. Like, if you just,
I should have just owned it. I said, yeah, they're called The Who.
Yeah, you should have just, dude. I would have bought it. I would have bravoed.
They're famous from like,
it was like
1967.
Yeah.
And
that was some.
They had that whole, rock symphony or rock opera going on.
Rock opera.
They had what's it called, Tommy? It's like
Tommy the Wizard.
Can you hear me? Yeah, Tommy, can you hear me? Something like that. I'm just someone else. But
what's your take on
my take on
train?
My take on the Busan train or Train to Busan. It's it's really high octane. It starts out pretty slowly, but I think that's necessary for you to actually care about these characters.
Yeah.
And then it's like it's not trying to shock you, but it does. It's sort of like it shocks you, and I think that's what it's trying to do, but it doesn't go overboard. Like you feel like it's earned, or you don't feel like something is it feels very realistic.
That's what it feels earned. That's what I was saying.
It feels earned. Yeah. Like every time something happens, you're like, oh, I can tell that the big guy's gonna die because like he's the big guy.
Yeah. Or like when it goes like crazy.
Or you don't know.
Crazy,
Thing is like you're never really sure, but there's always a point where like, this guy's gonna die, and then he doesn't. They're like, what? Why didn't he die? Oh, he's the bad guy, so we need to, have him live a bit longer. And or this guy's good, so that's why he has to die now because to make you feel sad.
Yeah.
So it's sort of it's a roller coaster. And it's fun, and it's not. I would like. It is exciting, and it really keeps you on the edge of your seat. And I remember the first time I watched this movie, I was like, "What the fuck? What is happening?"
And they were able to do that for $8 million, $8 million US. That whole.
Mm-hmm. In my opinion, Train to Busan is like one of the best zombie movies that I've ever seen.
I like you.
What the?
I like you.
What?
My name is Borat.
What the fuck?
I like sex.
Okay.
I like sex. Come on and make my day.
I'm not gonna have sex with you, man.
I like sex. It's nice.
No, I don't want to do that.
He is paining my assholes.
Borat, you can't just show up here and say that you want to have sex with me. Like, that's not how it works.
I am not attracted to you anymore. Not.
My name is Borat.
I was going to get into that smoothly, but that's okay.
Hello.
Oh, man.
I like sex. It's nice.
So now we're going to go into what we've been wanting to talk about this whole time.
About Borat, subsequent movie film. And
Let's see what was the full title again. It was subsequent movie
it is
film,
subsequent movie film.
like to
Borat.
make benefit something.
To make benefit the country of Kazakhstan and for premiere.
Oh
And,
man. That was,
oh my god.
Okay, wait, hold on. I just messed up the timer. All right, whatever. Screw it. Anarchy. All right.
This is how we do.
Are you drinking? Okay, that's not cranberry bottle. No, that was like wine.
This is wine.
You're not being like that guy. Now here you go,
Want your freedom.
Nobody.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, but you saw the TikTok video with the guy with the cranberry juice.
Yeah, I saw that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be honest about something. I did not know the title of that song.
Yeah.
Until that video.
Dude,
I always just knew. I always just knew the song as the song or the highway. So, like I just knew it as that song.
Is that like Dreams?
Yeah, Dreams by
Dreams.
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac. But then they have a really good song on that album called Chains that they featured a lot in volume 2. Like,
is that the Keep On Loving?
Yeah. It's the one they play at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 when he says, "You shouldn't have broken my Walkman." And then and it's like, it's like, "Don't knock me down, you'll never love me again." Yeah.
I like that song too.
I love that song. Isn't
I
that
dream when I make sexy time with women. Hey, everybody, remember that College Humor video about the guys that made irritating Borat impressions? Well, we're back.
We're back, guys. Yeah. That's Michael Penis, I have a girl for you. Dude, that was amazing.
Oh, okay. The amazing part about Borat 2 or Borat's subsequent movie film, whatever, is that that wasn't the biggest stunt.
That was the biggest part.
Because that's what they kind of like led up to with the teasers and stuff, that was going to be the main event. But that wasn't the stunt when he brings his daughter in and tries to give her to Mike Pence while he's making his speech. That was like not even halfway through the movie. And it gets crazier. And the other part I like about Borat 2 is that I remember they were trying to, like for a while, news sources were trying to figure out the working title. They were like, oh, it's this working title. No, it's that title. Well, it gets played into in this movie. There's like 3 different titles based on like where they are. Like it starts off as like Borat give sexy monkey to Mike Pence or something. And then the next one is Borat give daughter to Mike Pence. And the last title, this is a huge spoiler. Should we do this? Huge spoiler. The last
huge spoiler, guys.
The final title they use in this movie is like Borat gives daughter sexy time to Rudy Giuliani or something.
Yeah.
And that's like the main.
That wasn't such a spoiler. Like
yeah.
I mean, if you've been following the news, you can tell that something happened with Borat's co-star.
Yeah, but like the big shocker was that was like the main chunk of the movie. Yeah. That's what it was kind of about.
I mean, that to me was like the most cringeworthy.
It was gross.
And there is, and I have to say, this is that was the most cringy part of the movie. And there is considering that there is a fertility dance at a debutante ball. Where
that part made me happy.
Period.
I wanted to cry during that part.
Bleeds everywhere.
I wanted to cry during that part because one, that was like the hardest laugh I've had in a long time, was watching that part. And two, I thought like
I was just watching like, oh my God, this is happening right now.
Yeah, and I thought like the shock of Borat was done, but make no mistake when I say that this is a passing the torch movie to Maria, what's her name? Maria Bakalova or something?
Bakalova,
yeah. This is a passing the torch movie because she kills it at like trolling people, and nobody knows who she is yet.
Really good at it, and it's and you know she actually managed to get into the White House.
Yeah,
masquerading as a reporter. I'm guessing maybe the same reporter that the same version, the same character who meets Rudy Giuliani at the end, maybe. So it's sort of like
Yeah, like Sacha Baron Cohen, he can only go so far. He's disguised himself so much
yeah,
that you can tell
everyone
it's him
knows
just
him
by
now.
his
Yeah,
eyes at this point. And in the beginning,
everyone knows him.
you get the feeling that a lot of the people he talks to is kind of in on it. But
Yeah,
Maria Bakalova as the
It-
daughter, if you want the shock value of somebody like fucking with people, you get it from her, and it's
yeah.
it's
Because like
gorgeous.
she's virtually, she's unknown and no one knew her,
Yeah,
and everyone thought she was just like a, maybe an immigrant from
yeah,
Bulgaria, I think she's
yeah.
from, or let's say most people don't know what
Or
Bulgaria is, so let's say like Eastern Europe.
no, she's from Kazakhstan.
So I was like, oh,
Yeah,
and then like since no one knows about her and they don't know that this is you can tell by how it's filmed, right? So like
right.
she goes to the bathroom, like she joins this, I guess, CPAC, like Republican women's
Yeah,
meeting or something in Texas, and
right.
she takes the stage, and you can tell that the cameras are a bit far away, and they're really zooming into people's faces, and like
Right.
they're probably hiding in the wings and just waiting to see what happens.
Yeah.
And I think most of the parts where Borat is, except for when he sings at that Trump rally, well, not a Trump rally, like he's at a
It was like it
live
was kind of a
concert or
Trump.
something.
It was
It's
like
not
it wasn't
like
like explicitly Trump, but it was kind of like a
yeah,
fight
there's like
for our
Trump
rights kind of
supporters,
thing.
having
Yeah.
a thing. And like I think that's the only time that no one recognized him, because he was so heavily,
Yeah.
his face was like severely hidden with like a huge
Yeah.
beard and a fake nose and
Yeah.
hair. And he sings a song that he wrote with a couple of hillbillies,
Yeah.
no, a couple of rednecks that he met.
I think they cut out a part though where people did start to recognize it, because I remember hearing
Yeah.
about this incident like back like this summer, and then yeah, when they were like somebody, I heard somebody in the crowd was like Sacha or Borat or something like that.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
think
because he still does the accent, right? Because he's still
yeah.
technically Borat, like in character. And it's like, oh, hello, I sing a song.
Yeah.
And
trying to
then
he's
the
Borat
song
trying
is,
to be a country guy.
yeah, and then he tries to he does the country, singing accent kind of. He has it down.
Yeah.
But still when he talks, he goes back to like hello, and
Yeah.
yak shavash, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And what oof, shit, I want to talk about something, but it's like so he sort of, so that's how he catches up with his daughter, because there's a moment in the movie that his daughter realizes that they have this manual from Kazakhstan that says like this is how you should treat women or something.
Right.
It involves like putting them in cages and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't drive or can't read, shit like that.
Yeah.
Offensive in today's offensive. And but then like she realizes that women in America drive.
Yeah. Hold on. What just happened?
Find his daughter and he needs to sleep somewhere.
Wait, can you go back to drive? Like part of it
Yeah.
just got partially cut out.
Oh, sorry.
Say drive.
So like she realizes that women can drive and do shit, do things that men can do.
Yeah.
And like driving and reading and
yeah,
that basic stuff.
And like that story, okay, the sucked in part, I don't know, but the whole part about it having like teeth, that's like an actual old story.
Yeah, that's an actual old story. Yeah, about
why
like
you
if
shouldn't.
girls went down there, they might get bitten or something.
Yeah.
And or guys, like before you get married, like you'll get bitten or something. It's like a whole chastity thing.
I still want to get around to watching that movie Teeth, because I saw the last chunk of it on IFC, and I turned it right when a guy's dick fell off from getting eaten by the teeth. I was like, whoa! And then I turned it. I was like,
that's gotta hurt.
What was that?
What was that?
I told
like
you.
all the blood loss, man. Like, because that's all blood. That's not a muscle. Like,
what we were.
Just like,
I know.
But yeah, so like she rebels, so she runs away from Borat and his trailer.
Yeah.
And so like Borat is looking for his daughter, and then he asks this random guy in the street like, can I stay at your home? Yeah. And he ends up like looking, and these guys tell him about QAnon, and that stuff.
They had to have been in on it, like, to some degree.
I think they're in on it because honestly, like,
they played into the story pretty well, like later on. That's why. So
they played into the story a bit too well.
Yeah.
So,
like it wasn't like in the first Borat movie how he just happened to find that bus with like the frat boys. I mean, the frat boys, they knew from the night before that they were going to be a part of it, but the guys that Borat stays with in this movie, they're more heavily involved in like the plot in like that part. So they had to have been like in on something.
But I think like the only parts of the movie where I'm totally sure were unscripted were like the Rudy Giuliani part, where they didn't tell Rudy this was Borat, because for sure he would have said no. And like the debutante ball with the fertility dance. Yeah. I'm sure like they just showed up and said, I'm here to film for,
well,
movie.
Turns out a lot of them were extras, and but there was like a quiz the night.
There's a lot of people are in on it.
There was a quiz the night before to get them to like recognize Sacha Baron Cohen or not. And I'm pretty sure some of them were in on it, but like a good amount of those reactions were pretty
I think like even if you're, maybe they just didn't tell them, it's like what was actually going to happen. And just
like they get away with there were a few big shocks in this movie, and to me the most shocking part of those parts is that they're still able to get that shock value in general, because like let's face it, this movie wasn't as good as the first one, or as shocking, or as super funny. No, it really was like miles away from as funny as the first one. But on the parts where they are funny and when they get to be shocking, they own it.
I mean, I just remember this part where Sacha Baron Cohen, like Borat, gives a cupcake to eat to his daughter, but he doesn't let her take it with her hands or something, so she's feeding it to her face, and there's a baby on top, like a plastic baby. So she swallows it, and then they go to a clinic to ask if they can take the baby out of her. So it's like, and then the guy, well, the thing is like it's sort of like a double, because like, we know exactly what they're asking for, right? I mean, you can tell what they're asking for. Not
double entendre, but like
no, it's not double entendre. But the thing is like, you know exactly what this guy who doesn't know them thinks that they're asking. But they're saying no. Instead of saying I swallowed a plastic baby, like she says I have a baby inside of me.
They chose that block, that like area of stores very strategically. Like I wonder who walked in and saw like a woman's clinic across the street from a bakery that had a baby on it. I wonder who walked and was like,
And there are babies on these cupcakes.
Like that was too perfect. I mean, like there's somebody I am glad that like seemed to be a little in on it was the tech store guy, because he seemed genuinely like irritated and stuff in the beginning, but he actually ends up being a big part of like the climax at the end. Not the climax, but like he's a big part of like the conclusion.
Like the big reveal at the end, the big twist. And Brian has recorded everything, and I mean the guy who also like he also goes to the same guy to send faxes to the premier of Kazakhstan. And then it's just like he's probably in on it, because like a lot of the message, because he reads out what's on the message, what's on the fax paper. So if you do not do this, I will kill you. Like, like the fax guy's probably like, if you weren't in on it, he would call the police or something. I don't know. The guy got like, is receiving death threats through fax machines.
And he's just looking at it like, looks like a lot of angry faces, right?
There's one that's just like angry faces, like just a grid of angry faces covering the whole page. And it's just like, I think, shock value, there was a lot of shock value, I think mostly related to Maria Bakalova's character.
Like they couldn't hire like the guy who played Bogatov. When they revealed they turned him into a chair or something.
Like, to punish him, they turned him into a chair. And his penis is still there. So, on the chair.
They couldn't do
like, what the fuck?
you couldn't do anything with him because like he's in Cobra Kai. So I'm like, okay, people are gonna know who you are. Right now there's an article about like why Lunel, the lady that played, I think she was like a hooker or something in the first movie, why she wasn't in the sequel but got paid anyway. But you can't put her in the sequel. She's famous now too.
Yeah.
Like more famous than she was back then. So I'm like, yeah, there's like too many people who actually blew up from that movie. And I think this Maria Bakalova girl, I don't know what she's gonna be in like a few years, but I was thoroughly impressed.
She might do more of this stuff because she's really good at it and she resells it, and she's a really good actress. And I think like, you can tell like, shall we jump into Rudy?
Yes. We do need to talk about that part.
We need to talk about Rudy because that's like the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
And in the hotel room on the bed. So it's like
yes.
Yes. So like thing is like she really gushes over Rudy as, oh, I'm so like
she puts her hand on his leg like a lot.
Yeah. And I'm thinking this, like, if Rudy allegedly put his hand down his pants for other reasons than tucking his shirt, it's really creepy. It really is.
Like I don't know how, because like usually when it comes to interviews, because the whole setup was she was helping him take off his mic. Yeah. And usually when you do that, you kind of do that outside and you just take it off and give it back and kind of run. But this whole thing was
standing
like
up.
Yeah.
You kind of do it standing up. Like,
and this whole thing is like, want to have a drink with me as we take off your microphone?
Yeah, and then he said, I'll give you, and then like he asked her, like, give me your number and address.
Yeah, that part I was trying to figure out, like, okay, why would you ask
why
that?
Address? Number maybe, but like, why address?
Like, so like, I mean, you could justify it by saying maybe he could sue her if libel or anything happened.
Maybe.
Honestly, there was too much that happened in that scene that was like, oh, he is getting his hit on right now. He is.
No, I mean, like,
he's getting his groove on. He is.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I was telling you about this before. The thing is, like, okay, you need maximum 3 tucks to tuck your shirt in.
Maximum 3.
Maybe 4 if you're also taking care of the flap behind you. But like, there's like 1 tuck on one side, maybe the other one, and then maybe a 3rd one just to make sure everything's flat. But like this guy just goes for number 3, 4, 5. He's still tucking his fucking shirt.
Yeah, because like,
what the hell is he doing?
Yeah, and I know, and like he talked.
Yeah.
And then and it's like,
and maybe you'll do a swipe, just to make sure the pants are up there,
Yeah. It's like that part I hope is the point of debate for a lot more podcasts and stuff. Like, was he tucking in or was he not? And honestly, when you watch it, you're gonna figure it out. But like there was too much leading up to that.
50% of that was tucking, and the other 50%, I don't know what the fuck that was.
It had to have been. Yeah, it had. Like
I'm being nice here, saying I don't know what that was. But it looks very suspicious.
Yeah, but like, everything leading up to that was very like, give me your name and address. Haha. Like,
it's like, oh, don't worry, I'll ask you questions.
he was getting his groove on, Rudy. And then
he's been to Ukraine and looking for evidence. I'm sure he's having fun with allegedly.
Oh man, I wish I knew. That's the one thing I miss about New York. I wish I knew like what these powerful dudes were like actually doing and stuff. Like, I don't know, that was the first time I would see things like, powerful people hitting on girls like on like LinkedIn or something, or everybody consistently having a story and like seeing a bunch of catcallers and stuff. Like, it's
like, who hits on women on LinkedIn? Like, that sounds sad.
It's like it's a consistent thing. Like, I've kind of like heard about or like seen a little bit about here and there. So it's like,
okay, guys,
I don't know,
who are hitting on women on LinkedIn, you are sad.
Yeah. And I mean, it does happen in like Hawaii too and stuff, but it's just like,
yeah, for sure it happens.
It's just like, I would have doubted this Rudy scene more if, I didn't know that there was some degree of this kind of thing happening.
Yeah.
And I mean,
it's like, you can tell his reaction to her, like before, to everything that led up to that.
Yeah.
You're like, this guy, he's thinking maybe I'm going to get some action, like it kind of looks like that, or it feels like that.
I mean, she was
And,
doing a lot of that, like putting the hand on the leg, this and
yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of
She
thing.
put her hand on
But
his leg a few
you
times.
know, you can't do that with
You
somebody
can't
you
do that
just
with
did work with. Some like,
yeah. I mean, like, it's like she went in there.
yeah,
she,
you know, you
she
got to
gave him
keep,
permission. I'm
yeah,
not saying she gave him
you
permission,
know, you got to
but it's
keep
sort of
work
like
and
she,
personal separate. Come on.
But the thing is, it's like it's sort of like he misread whatever she's trying to do. I
Yeah.
think.
Oh, look, there's an entire article about it. Dear men, please stop using LinkedIn to hit on women. Oh man, all these. Oh,
All
Rudy.
this leg touching does not give you permission to touch yourself.
Yeah.
3 times after the 3 times you tucked.
Yeah, he
you don't over
tucked
tuck yourself.
and tucked and.
Thing is,
Oh
this was
man,
like a Larry David episode. This was like Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's like with the when his pants go into a tent and it looks like he has a heart on. It's sort of like it felt like it's like one of those things like no I don't, no, it's a tent, except that this was not fiction, this was like real stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just tucking my pants repeatedly.
I know. Oh, man.
Oh my god!
What does Sacha Baron
that
Cohen say?
was the
He
most
says,
cringeworthy moment of the
"She's
whole thing.
15. She's too old for you."
Dude, like the way Sacha Baron Cohen's like, she's 15, she's too old for you. No, and then it's like, but he was hiding. They had built a special compartment for Sacha Baron Cohen to look, into the room. That way he could, intervene whenever he thought it was a bit weird.
Oh man!
And apparently, like he was really worried.
Yeah, Rudy was.
He could sense the vibe.
Yeah, Rudy was just doing business the old school way, I guess. Rudy.
Oh my god.
Rudy.
Oh my god. Rudy. Yeah.
Here, I want to look up what the whole title was at that part. Subsequent movie film.
Yeah.
Gypsy Tears.
Yeah.
It was at delivery. God, can't. Oh, here we go.
The look he had on his face, man. The look he had
Borat
on his face.
Delivery of sexy gift to Rudy Giuliani in last-ditch attempt to save Borat from execution and make benefit diminished nation of Kazakhstan. There we go. That was the full title.
That's the full title.
Yeah.
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 Oh man. Shall we go into the twist? The big twist.
There's a bigger. Oh yes, let's
let's
end on that. We got like
spoilers.
2 minutes. Yeah.
Spoilers for the big twist. There is a pandemic twist at the end because they shot part of this during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, they must have had the plan like ahead of time because they had the whole like Michael Pence rally and stuff. But yeah, when it ended up being a big part.
Yeah, it ended up being a bit. I don't think they probably planned what they were going to do, right? Because of election season. But I think COVID happened maybe halfway through, or when they weren't in production, not when they were planning it. So I think they sort of like shoehorned that in,
right?
So the big twist is that Borat. The whole thing about him being executed and giving a gift was a pretense for him to spread the COVID virus everywhere. Because they put him on a freighter and he goes to Wuhan, and then he gets Tom Hanks infected when he lands in Australia. They actually got Tom Hanks. Like I saw him on the list, in the cast list, and I was like, how is Tom Hanks in this movie? And like he just cameos because
And Tom Hanks, he's like Mr. Good Guy and everything, but he's a comedy legend. Like I'm not surprised that I was surprised to see him, but not surprised that he would do a movie like this.
Yeah.
Like, you guys forget who this Tom Hanks is.
On Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
And then they cut back to a bunch of parts of the movie that they cut out where he coughs on all the people that you've met during the movie.
Yeah, when did they film all of that? Like him in Wuhan coughing on on like the
I don't know.
market animals.
Well, maybe I'm not sure. I don't know if he went to Wuhan. Maybe he went to Chinatown in one of
in
the
like
big
summer.
cities and just did that.
Yeah,
I don't know. But
probably. But he full on like he went rah, rah, all over the food.
he was like, because he has like, I don't know, he's got some fish or squid or something in his hand. I can't remember, but like he's looking at fresh food and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, and so that's a big twist. And that was like Kazakhstan's final revenge against the world for making fun of them because of the first Borat movie. And they have a whole like running of the American at the end where they have a Karen with an AR-15.
Yeah. It was a Karen with an AR-15. It was Trump,
like
it was Fauci.
papier-mâché head Karen.
And then they kept sneezing, like, oh wait, he's sneezing.
Oh wait, he's sneezing. There's like green goo that comes out.
Get Fauci, kills the vaccine, kill it.
And Fauci comes, like a Fauci, bobblehead guy shows up with a syringe, like with the vaccine, and Karen shoots him with her, fake AR-15, and the vaccine will not be saved, and thing is like Borat is known for being shocking and in bad taste and everything. So don't be surprised. There are a lot of things that will, for the most,
he does end it with like, you can tell he's trying to make more of a point. Like he ends it with saying vote and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
Like the movie ends with vote. And
it was a little less vague what they were trying to do than like the first movie. But
well, thing is like the reason why they have the running of the American, the same way that they have the running of the bulls in Spain. But
or is the running of the Jew earlier?
that was what it used to be, and then they changed it to the running of the American because the American is the most dangerous man in the world. That's why they do that, and it sort of like gives it a bigger, broader message and a bit more elevated message than the period dance and and the Rudy Giuliani stuff and bringing a woman to Michael Penis. And Michael Penis, I have a girl for you. They actually booed him. It was like, take him off the stage, like kick him out or something. I think they kept chanting, it's like, kick him out, or lock him up.
It was like a very split second thing. Like if you see like the C-SPAN footage of it, it was a very split second kind of incident. So I was pleasantly surprised that wasn't the main event, because like in real life it was kind of a blip. So no, the thing is, it's like it's like I thought it would be the biggest part of the movie, and then but that was before I heard all the headlines about Rudy's pants tucking stuff, shenanigans. And I was like, okay, so there's something more to this. And then, when you realize that the Michael Pence thing is near the middle of the movie, and you're not even halfway through the movie, you're like, okay, so I guess Rudy's going to be the big finale. But then you're like, no, actually, it's not Rudy. It's the whole COVID thing. And, but I think, I think the Rudy controversy is what's taking away from people talking about the whole COVID thing. Because I guess it's that more shocking and actually true. And thing is like, that footage was not doctored. Like you see whatever you see, that's what happened. Then it's up to you to judge what happened. But because
I think it's really cringy and creepy.
Yeah, like the COVID part was like, it was pretty, they were more like cinematic scenes. Like you could tell they were like more cinematic, like planned out scenes than the original. And this was one of them. This was definitely like a set and wasn't like meant to be shocking. And
the end is mostly green screen. Like when you see the running of the Americans, like, okay, green so all those people who are actually there are there, but then Borat and his daughter are green screened in. Yeah. Like you can tell. And because like Borat's daughter, who's called Tutar or or something, like she also becomes a reporter, just like Borat. It's like, Jak Shavash, welcome to village, and but thing is, but I saw an interview they interviewed, I can't remember if it was on Good Morning America or one of these morning shows. And they interviewed Borat and Sacha Baron Cohen and Maria Bakalova. and it sounded like she felt unsafe, and then the you know, during the Rudy thing, and then she said, no, I always felt safe with Sasha and everything, and they kept me safe, and that's why I didn't feel, you know, unsafe, I guess. So
Yeah,
you know, but then it sounded like, you know, she was like, ooh, what's going on?
yeah. If they went any further than that, one, I would have been like, what the hell? Like, you guys let it go this far. But the other part was that, like, if they went any farther than that, I'm pretty sure,
Yeah.
like, you could sue. So yeah,
Yeah,
you could sue
I
pretty
think
bad.
it's like, you know, I think pants, you know, hand down your pants is probably the right moment to, you know, step in.
Yeah.
So,
Like Sasha got in at the right moment.
but like, you know,
Yeah.
I was saying this to somebody, but you know, I was like, Rudy is lucky that, you know, Maria Bakalova, she's 24, but her character is 15.
Right.
But like, I was like, Rudy is fucking lucky that that girl was not 15.
Oh yeah. Same
Is
time, what
fucking
would you?
lucky.
Yeah. Same time, where would you have a dream with like a 15-year-old? I feel like Rudy. Actually, I don't know. I wonder if that was the moment Rudy, you know, figured out he was like part of a Borat prank.
Yeah, but did you see his face when like Borat comes in and is like, no, she's 15, and it was like an, you know, it was
It's
like
like,
a, you
what?
know, Dateline kind of thing. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, oh, I got caught.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like a what's going on face. It's more like, oh shit, you know.
Oh, shit, they know. Yeah.
This was an oh shit face. It wasn't like, oh, what's happening face.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's why at the end, Kazakhstan sends grooms now.
Yeah.
To Kevin Spacey. I was like, what the?
Like Kevin Spacey, like he's living in the village. Was that the joke? It was like,
No, it was that, like, because they're feminists in Kazakhstan now. Now they send young boys to people
to
around the
Kevin
world, and then the cage of young boys had a post-it on it that said like
oh
to
my
Kevin
God,
Spacey.
to Kevin Spacey.
I was
Oh
like,
my God.
man.
I didn't catch that. Oh fuck.
Oh, dude, watch watch that part. I'm like, it's
Oh
like
my
it's
God,
like they
okay,
somehow
okay.
found ways to, like, okay, it felt like they were getting more PC, and then they would come out with something like
Yeah.
that and be like, no, they're not. Never mind.
Well, the thing is, I think a lot of the movie is shocking to every single demographic that you can think of out there.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's like it's shocking for everybody
Yeah.
for different reasons, and you know, whether you're on the left, on the right, there's something to hate and something to love about this movie. So it's so it's very unifying that way, I guess. But but I think, you know, yeah, the ending where it says just like vote, I think really gives you the idea of like what Sacha Baron Cohen's message is at the end of this movie. Well,
Right.
you know, I'll let people decipher that for themselves. But it's sort of like, you know, I recommend people watch it, but like, don't be surprised if you feel like turning it off or skipping a couple of parts, or, you know, I forced myself to watch a lot of these parts that I didn't feel like watching, and mostly because of the cringe factor.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh no, he's not gonna do it. He's not gonna do it. Oh my God, he did it. It's this is my, you know, real, you know, it's sort of like a more realistic version of no, I'm talking bullshit. But so it's sort of like similar. I felt similarly to when I watched Midsommar, and I was like, no, he's not gonna do that. Oh, he did it.
You did it.
It's like, oh, she's gonna burn him. Yeah, she's gonna burn him. Yep.
Oh man.
And that's it.
Right, everybody, that was our what we binged. That's our,
this was
I would
our
say, our
last
final Halloween. I mean, yeah, it was pretty half-half between Borat and Train to Busan.
Well, the thing is, we had to talk about Borat.
We had to. I had no idea it was coming out this week until like a few days ago.
Yeah,
and I was like,
me neither.
yeah. But
and it's so, you know, topical and of the moment.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like watering down Mandalorian with Borat. I just want to focus on Mandalorian next week, which we will talk about next week.
We'll talk about. I think they're still rolling it out one at a time, right? Like
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. We'll dwell on what we can, but in the meantime, check us out.
Check
In
us out.
between time. Check us out on Google.
Check us out on, hey, you can Google us, but you can.
Yeah. What we binge, yeah.
Thing is, we have started uploading on YouTube. That's ongoing.
And
but we have a few issues with some copyright stuff because of some songs that we used. But
they caught us.
Yeah, they actually blocked one video, so I had to get rid of like maybe 30 seconds of some of the songs, and then it was fine. So
awesome.
Look out for that. But we only have our first 8 episodes on YouTube.
Awesome.
The rest will be coming soon. So You can listen to us on Anchor, of course, Breaker, Castbox, Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, and hopefully, we'll also be uploading a podcast on YouTube regularly once I get all these things figured out.
Awesome.
And
And to find us, just go to Google and type in What We Binge Podcast, and we are the first probably like 3 or 4 things you'll see.
Yeah.
So no SEO. What's up?
No
pay for SEO.
Paying for SEO is overrated.
It's overrated. We win. We win.
We win, Google.
Yeah,
And next step, DuckDuckGo.
We're secure, bitches.
We're secure. Don't let those people, track your activities.
Don't let Kazakhstan follow us. All right, we gotta head out. Please, listen. Let's can we have a long episode? Listen to the whole thing, not just the 50-minute ones. All right, peace.
Yeah. Peace.
Where's leave meeting? Wait, no, wait.